Hello! Welcome to All Essays. Reach your academic heights. My name is Julie and I will be your instructor as we read through Organizational Analysis. The article source is embedded in the video description below. Feel free to read along. Please note that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay for as little as $10 a page at All Essays. The link is in the description. Contents 1. Introduction 2. History 3. Current situation and structure 4. Sociocultural significance 5. Conclusion 6. Bibliography. Introduction. In the contemporary world, human society is characterized by a very complicated structure, and naturally this leads to the variety of organizations existing in one and the same society. In such a situation, the role of social groups is particularly significant since it provides the opportunities for the members of such groups to be in a privileged position compared to those people who do not belong to any social group. At this respect, it should be pointed out that organizations play a very important role in structurization of the society, since nowadays the role of organizations has increased dramatically. It is obvious that there is a variety of organizations which may be extremely influential, for instance multinational corporations which operate all over the world, and national borders as well as laws are not a significant obstacle on their way of development, and as a rule they strive for higher revenues and monopolistic position in the market. Unfortunately, the development of such organizations is quite rapid and seems to be unstoppable. That in the constantly progressing world is quite dangerous, because such organizations threaten to undermine the basic principles of civil society, since there is no international structure that could really control them. This is why often it is thought that there are less and less organizations that protects the interests of all citizens, especially the most deprived ones. Fortunately, there are still some organizations that aim at the protection of rights and interests of such groups of people, and basically such organizations are known as non-profitable. In order to better such organization, their structure, work, aims, and their social role, it is necessary to analyze one of such organizations, namely Penny Lane in North Hills, California. History. First of all, before discussing the organization and its work, it is necessary to dwell upon its history, since it will help better understand the entity and the main principles of the organization, its functioning and main goals. It is always very important to learn the history of an organization in order to have a clear picture about the reason of its foundation that will certainly define its future purposes and consequently perspectives. So, speaking about Penny Lane in North Hill, CA, it is necessary to say that this non-profit organization was founded not very long time ago. Notably, the date of its foundation is 1969, and the founder of the organization was Ive Markovits. The personality of the founder is also very important, since it is her who defined the basic principles of Penny Lane, and its further functioning was the result of Ive Markovits' work. At this respect, it should be pointed out that the founder of Penny Lane graduated from the college with a bachelor's degree in psychology that naturally influenced her further career in the work of the organization she founded, since she paid a lot of attention to human relations, social problems and psychology, including social psychology, which focused on relations of individual and social groups as well as interaction of social groups between each other. That was very perspective in a rapidly changing society of the second half of the 20th century. Moreover, 1960s also influenced the personality of the founder and consequently Penny Lane itself, since it was the epoch when the sense of social consciousness was particularly sharp and strong. Remarkably, Ive Markovits began her career as Los Angeles County Probation and Placement Officer. Soon she got an MA in Marriage and Family Counseling, and later received her licenses as a marriage, family and a child counselor. After that she has got a chance to realize her dreams, since it was one of her main goals to provide a home for deeply troubled teens about whom she had come to care deeply. Kasten Rosenzweig 1994-401. This dream was eventually fully realized in 1969, when she started Penny Lane. By the way, the name of the organizations was also the product of the epoch and is quite symbolic. In fact, it was borrowed from the upbeat, cheerful Beatles tune that celebrated the simple joys of life. Consequently, the title underlined the purpose of the foundation of such an organization, and obviously implied that the main goal of Penny Lane was to bring joys to the life of the most deprived people, troubled teens, who were in the focus of primary attention of the organization at that time. Current situation and structure. The initial goal of Penny Lane has gradually evaluated but not radically changed, and they still remain socially oriented. Nowadays Penny Lane takes care for over 1,600 abused and neglected children and youth who are still in the focus of the organization's attention. Robbins 2003-258. These children and youth receive a variety of services and essential help. Notably, the personnel of the organization provide therapeutic residential services and, what is not less important, education for teenagers. Moreover, Penny Lane provides foster family home placements for boys and girls of all ages. Robbins 2003-277. However, the service of the organization gradually changes, or, to put it more precisely, they enlarge and involve new categories of people. At this respect, it is noteworthy that currently Penny Lane also takes care of young adults by means of providing them with transitional housing, without which the young adults would be homeless. Furthermore, Penny Lane provides outpatient mental health services for children and youth as well as their families, involving other organizations. That is also very important and helpful for the development of the organization's principles and ideas in the society. Another very important service suggested by Penny Lane is adoption, that is absolutely essential in the situation when it is very difficult for abandoned children or orphans to lead a normal social life without family support provided by the organization. Moreover, nowadays Penny Lane can provide new mediation services, and the organization is prepared to hear cases of marital dissolution, custody, visitation, child support, family reunification, family preservation, victim offender mediation, etc. Stewart 2005-495. It should also be pointed out that Penny Lane is a constantly progressing organization and currently it is still enlarging. Notably, nowadays Penny Lane is represented not only by its headquarters in North Hills but also provides additional outpatient and foster family services in the Antelope Valley in the City of Commerce. It means that the organization continues to grow and its services are really needed. Remarkably, Penny Lane is still headed by Ive Markovitz, who is not only the founder but also the executive director of the organization. Penny Lane's board of directors includes Arthur Barr Jr., the president, Eric Derek Hammond, the vice president, Bruce Hector, M.D., W. Robert Krigler, Ph.D., Bobby Smith, Marty Mennel, Olga Moretti, ESQ, and Ann Hill. Such an organization provides Penny Lane with effective work leading to positive results. By the way, speaking about the results in financial terms, it is necessary to underline that Penny Lane is a non-profit organization, as it has been just mentioned above, but its financial position is quite good. For instance, last year Penny Lane's projected operating budget for fiscal year 2005 constituted $26,156,460, and all donations are tax-deductible and are used for programs and activities not covered by current funding sources. Stewart 2005-498. As a result, it is possible to say that financial position of Penny Lane indicates that the effectiveness of its operation and growing need in its services in the region where the organization operates. Socio-cultural significance. Obviously, the functioning of Penny Lane as a non-profit organization is very significant for socio-cultural life of the society because it fulfills the functions that no other organization can currently fulfill. That is, neither state services nor commercial organizations can provide such services, or at least they can only partially solve the problems troubled teens, youth and their foster families regularly face. Speaking about social role of Penny Lane, it is necessary to point out that the organization contributes to socialization of children and young people who have significant troubles in their social life. It means that as a rule, teens and youth Penny Lane takes care about tend to be marginalized and can easily become a sort of outcasts without certain support from outside. Naturally, it is particularly important for a child to have a family, even if it is a foster family, since it is one of the main conditions of normal socialization of an individual. Otherwise, a child lacking family support and being under the influence of a peer group risks to acquire antisocial habits and model of behavior that is absolutely unacceptable and may have far-reaching consequences for both the individual and the society at large. While the main goal of Penny Lane is the integration of troubled teens and youth in social and family life. At the same time, Penny Lane plays a very important cultural role because troubled children and teens acquire essential socio-cultural experience due to better integration into the society through foster families, for instance. In such a way, they acquire cultural norms accepted in the society, and while their foster parents may serve as an example, a model for the socially accepted behavior. To put it in simple words, children and teens simply learn what is good and what is bad. Furthermore, being socialized means for a child or a teen to acquire certain moral and ethic values, norms, and rules that they have an opportunity to learn through the communication either with their foster parents, or other adults which are interested in their education, well-being and future. Conclusion: thus, taking into account all above mentioned, it is possible to conclude that the operation of such non-profit organization is very important, and such organizations can hardly be substituted by some other organizations or institutions, for instance, by state agencies. At the same time, such organizations are often the product of their epoch, and it is very important to sustain the development of such organizations and provide the creation of new ones on the basis of ideas of social consciousness and responsibility of each individual or organization for the well-being of each member of the society. Obviously, the progress of such organizations and normal life of the society are closely interlinked, since without their assistance the number of people with antisocial behavior would grow dramatically. That would definitely undermine social stability currently existing in the society. At the same time, it is particularly important to make the effectiveness of such organizations as high as possible. Bibliography 1. Armenakis, A., Harris, S., and Moss-Schuldern, K. 1993. Creating Readiness for Organizational Change. Human Relations, 46, 681-703. 2. Kast, F.E., and Rosenzweig, J.E. 1994. Organization and Management, a Systems Approach, 2nd ed. Chicago, McGraw-Hill 3. Robbins, S.P. 2003. Organizational Behavior, 10th ed. New Jersey, Prentice Hall, Incorporated 4. Stewart, L. 2005. American Nonprofit Organizations. New York, New Publishers. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me. I hope you enjoyed learning about organizational analysis as much as I did. Kindly remember that you can get a custom, plagiarism-free essay at OWL Essays for as little as $10. The link is in the description. See you next time.